But yes, no one else has showed up. Judy wrote me an email earlier to say that she wasn't going to be able to make it today.
Yeah, I know. It's always been.
Chester's been showing up late from time to time, so I imagine he probably will join us at some point.
Yeah.
But Bill, welcome to the San Carlos Computer Club.
Well, I feel special.
You are. You're the whole reason I'm here.
You're home?
I am home. I'm back in the office. I've had this huge project going on with that's coming to a head tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. With this company I've been working on, and so I just have not had a lot of time for anything else. This is like taking a break from the work I'm doing to do an hour with you.
There you go. I'm pleased to divert you a little bit.
Yes.
So
Well,
you had a
and
good trip home?
oh, it was good, fairly uneventful. The give me 1 second because I think you're wrong. Oh no, those are right. Say a couple of words. Oh, who's
Chester's here.
Chester's with us. I thought he'd show up. Hello, Chester.
Not only is his camera not working, his mic's not working.
Yeah, we don't hear him, and it doesn't look like it's muted. That's that indicator of the camera is not on, but it also looks like the mic must be on because it's not saying that it's muted.
Yeah.
But we're not hearing anything. Are you there, Chester?
Squeak, baby, squeak.
Hmm? It's like my principal has been known to say when, for morning announcements, he come on and he says, teachers, if you can't hear this, send a runner to the desk.
Yeah, exactly. Or like raise your hand if you're not here.
Yes. One teacher finally did send some kid to the front desk with a running shoe.
That's punny. That you knocking around your microphone there? I have hit
Yeah,
the I
I'm
I have
tapping the desk.
hit the YouTube streaming button, so this is like the best of YouTube entertainment right now. Let's watch Bill play with his dongle.
Oh,
actually, actually, I think I have a couple dongles plugged into my laptop. One for sure. No, two. One for Bluetooth, I think it is, and one for the mouse, the wireless mouse.
Hey, my computer's acting weird. I might crash.
Oh, there you go. What else is new?
I can't
You're
believe
you're
this.
dressed a little cooler uh, today than the last time I saw you. You must be back in the tropics.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't believe this. I don't even know if we're on YouTube.
So, what's the grand total of YouTube followers there, subscribers that you have?
Bitch and OS, Mac OS. For some reason, it's not happy with feedback where we're at.
watching Heartland.
Oh, yeah.
Cheryl.
We're on year 10.
Yeah, my parents loved that show, and it's very much what I lived for 20 years because I lived right there in that High River area.
It must be a beautiful area.
Yeah, it's very pretty in the foothills. Yeah,
Can
and
you
very
guys-
cowboy.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, good.
You're back.
Back.
Where's everyone today?
I don't know. Judy gave me a message this morning saying she wasn't going to be able to make it to today's meeting. Honestly, I almost canceled it, and I'm like, no, I need a break from the work I'm doing. So I'll go hang out with these guys for an hour. But I'm not much more organized than I was last week.
So I know Cunninghams are in Colorado, but they're preparing to get down to San Carlos. So they're probably busy. So.
Well, I'm fighting with technical problems here as well, things I didn't expect to find as a problem. As far as the interface used to provide. Lost the top. Drop the. I'm gonna have to show when I finally do the in-person meeting. I'm gonna have to show up really early, get all this stuff redialed in. I've changed it so much over the summer because of these random problems. All right, I think we're close to copacetic.
Can you see him?
I can see you guys. You guys can see me.
Well, Chester is highlighted for some reason in ours, or
Maybe
I don't know. Maybe
you've got
maybe
him
we have
pinned by accident. Can I pin myself for everybody? For everyone.
In the words of Sheldon.
Oh, there we go.
You're in my spot.
Oh, but that doesn't work on my end.
Oh, okay.
Because it creates a mirroring effect if I pin it. You need to pin it for yourself. Try that one more. If I pin it. Can't min it. So, pinning for everyone doesn't work. Dun, dun, dun. Well, I did create a document for today's meeting, but it's only got a couple of topics on it. Nobody's added anything new. I have not heard anything new about our Bill of Digital Rights, so I'm looking forward to getting some status from somebody on it. I haven't heard anything from Dak Field's office. Said they were writing it up in legalese. Please.
You got to move once in a while, Scott. I think you're frozen up.
Am I frozen?
No,
My computer
not
was
if
for
you
a
move.
moment.
Hmm.
Well, I don't have a lot of topics. I'm back in San Carlos. I'm back in the office. I've been doing a big project. We're doing migrations from Google services to Microsoft services. That is going to change in the next 2 days. So there's been a lot of stress around preparing people for that. Today I'm going to spend some time making videos that will show people what it's going to look like when they start doing email and calendars differently.
Well, you don't need to be meeting with him. If you could just make sure that Carrie calls him. And we're going to talk to her next week about what we're doing. Because
Bill, is Cheryl talking to us?
we
Yeah, we're still here.
Oh, I just hear her talking in the background. I don't know if I'm supposed to catch what she's saying or not.
Yeah.
It
No,
sounds like
she's
she must
talking.
be on the phone. Well, yeah, like I said, I'm a little light on topics today. I do have problems accessing the other monitor because that to other. This thing. Okay, well, weird. I come back here and everything's different. Anyway, as you can see, I don't have a lot of topics for today.
Well, just pick something and talk about it. We love the voice.
There you go. Well, give me something to bounce off of. What's a latest problem or concern that you've come up with recently that's technologically related? Hey, is anybody out there using a smartwatch? I just found out that my wife's smartwatch has died, so I'm in the market for a new one. It's going to be her birthday present. He was using a Huawei. Oh, that's what have we talked about Emily's trials and tribulations with her Huawei phone in the United States?
In the United States.
In the United States.
Oh,
So this is such a crock. She's got this very functional smartphone she's had for a couple of years. It does everything she needs it to do. It's got dual SIMs. She's staying in Anchorage for the year to go to school. And so I go off onto AT&T. AT&T has a great prepaid plan. I use it myself for the bed and breakfast. You pay $300 up front for the whole year, and you get unlimited calling and texting as well as 16 gigs of data each month. When I signed up for it, they had a special promotion that was giving you double the data, and I'm still receiving it 3 years later. I've got 32 gigabytes of regular space. More than enough data, totally adequate. So I sign it up for her, and we get the SIM, and life of me, we cannot get it activated. In AT&T, you hook up the SIM, you start going through this procedure that it directs you to, and it says This is a 2G phone. It can't be put on the AT. It absolutely is not a 2G phone, 4G. And it's already on the AT&T network because she's using her Telcel service on the AT&T network. So it's totally capable of using this phone. But AT&T has decided to say it's not a 4G or a 3G phone. It's a 2G phone, and we don't support 2G. So I'm like, this is crazy. This is a crock. I stick the SIM into my iPhone, and I start to activate it on my iPhone. Then I take the SIM, I stick it back into her phone, and it says, this is activated, but this is a non-supported device. It gets even more vague. And so I'm like, all right, well, let's just go to AT&T and see what they tell us. And AT&T was full of bad disinformation. They absolutely like, oh, this phone doesn't have the same radios. I'm like, it does because it's using Telcel. Oh, this phone is only a 2G phone. It's like, no, it's not a 2G phone. It's a 4G phone. You can see it right there in the display. Oh, I mean, whatever the reason was, it was all just garbage. It was that stuff that could be true, so it's fine to say to people. Follow what I mean. And it disgusted me because if they'd given me one legitimate answer, I would have accepted that. But what they did is they just gave me a bunch of horse shit because they really don't know why it's not. They don't know why it wouldn't be accepted. This is AT&T. We're in the same mall. I'm like, all right, fine. We're going to figure out something else. Maybe we'll sign up on GCI. That's the Verizon, the Alaskan Verizon. It used to be Verizon. Well, actually, that's not true. It's always been GCI, and when they got into mobile, they had a contract with Verizon. For a Verizon customer, you'd be running on the GCI network. But that was my thought, is maybe we'll just go over to GCI and what they have to say. I thought by going to the mall, we'd have that opportunity because the two stores just sit right next to each other. And I figured, they say no, we'll go over to the other store and see what they say. Well, the store is closed, so there is no GCI mall. So we're walking through the mall and we find a Cricket. You guys are familiar with the Cricket mobile service?
No.
It's I didn't realize they had kiosks in malls. I thought it was all online, but they do. They have representatives in malls. And he's on the phone and he's talking to somebody, and at the same time he's like, "Hey, what do you need?" And I show him the phone. It's like, "I need to know if I can make this phone work." He looks at it for half a second, says, "I can get you a better phone." I'm like, "Great. Another AT&T experience. This is not what we're asking for. We're asking to make this phone work." And he's still in his conversation, and so he kind of looking at it, and he's looking at it, and he's like, "Yeah, but there's a better phone that I can give you for free when you sign up for service than this phone." I'm like, "I don't care about a better phone. I care about making this phone work. This is the phone that matters." So, but at this point, he's like, "All right, hold on a second." He has to finish his call, and so he listens to me. He hears the whole spiel. And he's looking up and down. He's like, "This is a Huawei?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "They're never going to let it on the network because it's a Huawei. They're never going to let it on the network. They have things in place to stop these phones from getting." I'm like, "They're on service with Telcel." Morning, Paul. Welcome. And he's like, "It doesn't matter. That service is contracted outside the country, and they have to allow that phone on the network because it's all already authorized through your Mexican carrier. But they are not going to sign this to work through their network." And that was it. It's somebody telling me straightforward what's going on. This Huawei is not going to be allowed to have AT service. And so we ended up going and buying a new phone. But it was really surprising that here's the equipment in my hand. Here it is running and making phone calls, doing text messages, using the internet. And the American carrier, because of our political stance with Huawei, has set it up so that these devices will not work on their network. Yes, Daryl, I see your hand up.
So you have AT&T prepaid?
Mhm.
Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, for both me and
Yeah.
my daughter now.
So they would even talk to you in an AT&T store?
Yes,
Because
they would. The only
they,
thing, I mean, they will talk to you, but if you have to make any changes to your service or make any payments or anything like that, you've got to do it through their website. And keep in
you have to
mind,
do it.
talking to you in the store obviously is not very helpful. I mean, I was still alone even though he was there. There was no help to be found in the store.
Yeah, well, the AT&T store, I went in, we were going to buy new phones and I wanted to, move my number over. And I was looking for an iPhone and I was in their AT&T store. And he said, well, you have to this and this. I said, well, I already have a plan. I already have an account. I'm just going to transfer it over to a new phone. Oh, well, no, you have to sign on for like years of your life and all this kind of stuff. You can't just go month by month prepaid like I have been. And the rates were 5 times what I've been locked into. So I said, no, no, nope. So I went over to Apple and Apple transferred all my stuff over.
Sure.
So yeah, it's AT&T stores don't like dealing with prepaid. They want you to sign up for their, and that's all they know.
Well, they run them as a different business. And so the plans on prepaid, like if you go to the prepaid website, there's a whole slew of phones that you can get.
Yeah, but the thing was, we bought the phone in an AT&T store in Las Vegas and signed up for prepaid. But that was years ago, and they don't do it anymore.
That would be the only way that makes sense. I have a call in, 33. That's interesting. When I had to restart, when we first started down here at the bottom of the meet, I had a clock that I was watching tick down, which I thought, hey, that's cool, that's new. Now the clock isn't ticking down; it's just sitting there. Do you guys show a usage of time in your clock in the lower right hand corner of your meet window?
Yeah.
We don't have a clock.
You don't even have a clock where it would say call in soon.
That's up at the top.
Oh, you must be on an iPad or something.
I am, but there's no clock.
Interesting. I'll have to look see what that looks like.
So,
Well, so that was our AT&T service story, and it actually what ended up happening is like, fine, we're gonna have to buy her a new phone. And Emily personalizes these items similar to how I do. And it's her phone. She doesn't want to give up her phone. It works just fine, but it's not going to work for her year in Alaska. If she wants service, she's going to have to switch phones. So I'm happy to say that Samsung has a phone, the A15, that we were able to get a 2024 just built, has more core processor than her current phone, has twice as much storage as her current phone, has 256 gigabytes of storage, supports a dual SIM. Now, one caveat is that if you are a dual SIM user, you lose the ability to add storage. That one of the SIM card slots doubles as a micro SD card slot. So if your goal was to bring over your SD card from your other Android phone, then what you're giving up is the ability to run 2 cell service. It's either or, it's not both. And her previous phone supported both. Didn't matter, she never used dual SIM. And the first time we were going to put it to use, she couldn't use it because her phone's not accepted in the United States. So it didn't matter because the phone had 256 gigabytes of space and wasn't already using an SD card. So there's no SD card to bring over. So she's not even missing out on that. And the new phone, well, the new phone is. Hey, can you guys still see me?
Yes, I see you.
You see me? Am I moving?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because my software's frozen up.
And
Well-
my clicker is frozen up.
Say again?
my left click is froze up.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to touch any of my stuff unless it just crashes right in front of me. It's going to let it keep rolling. If you can see me, tell me if you lose me. Wait. Anyway, this Samsung has a nicer screen, more storage, better processor, more memory, has 8 gigabytes of memory. The A15 Samsung has memory in it like a laptop. This is amazing upgrade. Not what we were planning on doing, but amazing upgrade. And even the action button, the button on the side of the phone acts as a fingerprint reader. So that was the first thing when she started using the phone. She's like, I don't have my fingerprint reader. And we discovered that it was in her action button on the side of the phone. This phone satisfied all the needs she needed, and it was an upgrade to the phone that she had previous. So it ended up working out really nice. But still, that sentimentality, like she had a lot of trouble moving her life over to the. But now she's on it. I think she's happy. Hope she's happy. You okay there, Chester?
I hear Paul is trying to talk,
But now
and
she's
I
on
can't
it.
turn my speaker
I
off.
think
I
she's
can't
happy.
mute my speaker.
Hope she's happy. Oh, Paul, you're muted, but not. Your system doesn't look muted, but you've got no voice coming through. It's nope, can't hear a thing. If you go into the bar at the top, do you see a little camera icon right next to the address that says meet.google.com/RGB-RRG? That address bar to the left, if you're in Chrome, there's a circle with a camera through it. And in my circle's blue. And I know from experience, if you weren't authorized, that circle would have an X through it. Does that all sounds like it's good, huh? So then what that would mean is that your Meet thinks you have a microphone. In fact, you might go down to your microphone and there's a pull up. There's like this up arrow or down arrow, like the less than and greater than, but it's up and down. And if you click on that, it'll give you various microphone choices. You might see it on my screen right. You see how I have different microphones in my system? Maybe you're on a weird microphone. Maybe you've got a weird microphone in.
I think Paul is frozen now. Nope, maybe not. Oh, nope, he's moving his head.
Frozen with anxiety.
Of course,
I can't
don't.
talk. Why can't
I
I
don't
talk?
recognize Paul. Maybe what I would do, Paul, is I'd leave and come back.
Yeah, I think I would do that too. I'd probably restart the computer if I leave and come back and didn't work. It's just today is the podcast of technical problems.
Well, he turned off his camera. Oh.
And he's back.
I don't think he left the meeting though. I think he just turned off his camera and on again.
Well, if you are in the market for a up-to-date Android phone at a reasonable price, this was a 2024. This is the A15. If you're not familiar with the Samsungs, the A15 is considered their mid-end phone. You know, you always have a low, middle, and high phone. Works with Zoom. Do you have Zoom on right now? Maybe the focus of your microphone is on something else. Are you running Windows 10? If you go into your sound settings in Windows 10, you'll find there's an option for isolating the microphone. Maybe your microphone is actually being used by another program in your computer, and it's been isolated to that program.
I was
actually
curious,
not-
why can't I mute mine?
Well, you should be able to mute yours with the microphone button at the bottom of your mute.
It doesn't work.
If you click on it, it won't mute.
Nope.
Well, I would blame Google then. I'd blame Google for Paul's problems too. I'm doing a Google right now on this phone that I'm talking about. It's the A15 5G 2024 256. There it is. One she got is black blue. Ooh. Because my system is frozen up, I can't show it to you. So I'm going to stick the link in the chat. What I'm selling this for right now. Because like I was starting to say, this is considered a mid-tier phone in this day and age, 2024. This is a $170 phone, and it is awesome. It is absolutely more phone than an average person needs. It's got a better camera, it's got a big screen, it's got plenty of storage. I mean, when we talk about phones just in the terms of phones, you could spend $170 and the person that gets it would be no wiser. This would work as well as $1,000 phone. $1,000 phones have now turned into special purpose phones. Like you're building a movie in HD and you want all the camera effects that the new iPhone has. That's a different use case than I just need to replace my old phone and want to take a couple of pictures. So I would highly recommend at this price point, that's what these things should cost. $200, under $200, and you can take pictures you're not embarrassed by, surf the internet, get your Google answers, keep track of your contacts. Your validation with your thumbprint, you could use it as your wallet to make touchless payments. You know, Apple Pay, the Google version. This is a perfectly adequate phone. I don't think most people in our group would know the difference between this and the $1,000 equivalent, because this is so much phone. $108.60. And it's got a 50 megapixel sensor. An 8-core processor. No, she's very happy with it. I, on the other hand, find myself oogling over the iPhone 16 with its camera control button. Well, here comes Dad. Good morning, Pop. You're muted at the moment, but we can see you very clearly. You may have entered the meeting muted because the software will do that after there's a certain number of people in it. If you look at the bottom of your Meet window, there might be a line through your microphone. In fact, the latest version of Google Meet, what's it? Oh, there, you got it.
Hello. Good
Hello.
morning.
Good morning. Welcome to our meeting.
Thank you. We're moving slow around here this morning.
That's all right. I'm a little disorganized. I was just talking about Emily's new cell phone, how impressed I was with.
Oh, we just got her thing in the mail yesterday. What you had ordered. I'm assuming it's her identification that you had ordered for her.
Oh, yeah, her state IDs come in. Great.
Yeah.
And with that, she's also registered to vote, so she's ready to make a difference.
Yes, she came over and we talked. Well, I guess you were here. I mean, she was here when we talked to you the other evening. But we decided we're going to use Election Day as a day to learn how to play Azul, and we'll go get her and bring her over and spend time doing that, and then go vote.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she seems to be doing great.
Play Azul?
I knew that somebody was going to ask. Do you have that game handy? Can you hold it up?
Yeah,
It's in that stack over there.
you can see
Can
it.
you grab it? Yeah, it's right on.
Second.
In just a minute, we'll get the box. Scott sent this to me as a birthday present 2 years ago. I didn't have a clue what it was, and took quite a while before I thought, no, it's right over there above the big dictionary.
Oh, I know.
There you go. We still don't know what it is. We thought Emily would be excited about it. She said that her family overestimates her enthusiasm about it. So
that's really funny because it was like her favorite thing when we first got into this game. It's a beautiful game, and it's made up of all these tiles. And so there's this, yeah, it's got a board there, and what you're doing is you're trying to create patterns with specific tiles.
Oh.
And it's very easy to learn, and it's very enjoyable. It feels good playing it because you're playing with these pieces, very colorful, mosaic type pieces.
I guess that's what this cover is all about too.
And and don't underestimate Emily's involvement. When she gets in any game, she's insanely competitive. So all she'll have to do is lose once, and you'll probably be playing games with her all night.
Oh boy. Well, as you know, we're not really board game people, but we're looking forward to having time to do something with Emily. So this sounded like it would be a good time.
That's great. Yeah.
And that's November. When is Election Day?
November 6th, 5th, Tuesday. That's right.
Good.
Tuesday, November 5th. Yeah.
We'll be in Mexico that day. That's the day we arrive in Mexico.
Oh,
We'll be in El Cadonas. So very close to the border, though.
Oh, you're not in Mexico yet, are you? No.
No.
I always enjoy seeing Paul's background there. I figure he's sitting in the place where you normally have your meetings. So
Tequilas.
Yeah. Tequilas, yeah. There's somewhere. Oh, there we go.
Well, I think I'm gonna hold off.
Background there. I figure he's sitting in the place where you normally have your meetings. So
Tequilas.
Tequilas. What's happened to me? There's somewhere. Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna hold off saying for certain that we're gonna be at Tequilas next week until I hear from people that are in town interested in meeting. Oh, well, would you look at that? The software came back. It's been frozen this whole time, doing its job, but not letting me work with the interface. Now it's back to working. So weird. So very weird. gonna put the phone I was talking about. Now I have a clock in the lower corner. It's in yellow and it's got ringing bells saying you've got 15 minutes.
Yeah, your call ends in 15 minutes, just flashed at the top of the screen.
That's all different on this. Google has obviously made changes again to this. The interface froze up again. Now I'm stuck on this picture of the phone. Oh, there it goes. Oh. I have these scenes on a cloud drive. I wonder if I'm having internet. So yes, that's our indicator that that our call is ending soon. We've got 14 minutes left. I will open up the next, gradually slide over into that without problem. And I only brought some really fluffy topics. Christine Frank sent me a link to 5G antennas that can be fastened to windows. Here's a picture. Glass antennas turn windows into 5G base stations. Compact, inconspicuous antennas could increase cell coverage transparently. Oh, they're punny. This is from the IEEE's log spectrum, and that's a picture of what they're talking about. And so this is an antenna that hooks to glass, to a window, and uses the window as its. It seems promising to me. If you were putting together a facility, you could fashion the windows to be ready to accept this kind of connection. Electronics inconspicuously attached to transparent conductive layers enabled in a window to double as a 5G antenna. The window's special and the connection's special, but you don't know that there's an antenna. In my mind, I was visualizing kind of, you've seen those car antennas that are part of the glass in your windshield. I was envisioning or thinking about it in those terms. But that would be a nice feature. You wouldn't have these protruding antennas off the sides of buildings or within offices. It would be somewhat subtle and hidden. This is actually a very long article talking about how we've gotten here. The idea of glass and what was the other thing I brought? Just something that is a little funny, only because it's Iran. But apparently Iran just paid millions of dollars in ransom to stop their banks from getting attacked. They had to break out the Bitcoin. Apparently this group called IR Leaks been hitting up their banking industry, locking up systems with ransomware. They asked for 10 million. I think they got 2 million delivered. Anyway, somewhat interesting that Iran is dealing with the same kind of data ransom and extortion that the rest of the Western world is doing as well. And they're doing the same thing. These hospitals and law enforcement agencies have done in the past. They are paying the ransom because they need their computer. Iran is not the place I think I would want to be. We have 10 minutes left on this call. Has anybody brought their own topics to this meeting? Any questions that we can sort out or news we want to talk about? A website that's giving you problems? No? Well, we could make this a short meeting. We could go straight to some recommendations if you guys are interested.
Well, your mother's having a problem with her phone you could talk about.
What's that? What's going on with her phone?
Somehow it ended up in some water. We were
Really?
talking to you about. Yeah, so we've had it in rice. You suggested that we wrap it in some kind of covering, a paper towel, and turn it off, and then just wait. So we talked to you Saturday night, I think it was, and we haven't tried to see if it's working yet, but we've got it sitting in rice still.
Okay. Well, how long ago was that? That was last Saturday?
Saturday, you had put it in rice before that, right, Sandy?
Yes.
So it had been a couple of days before we talked to you, but then we needed to get your instructions to make the changes, and so how long do you figure it's been in the rice altogether now, honey? Probably about a week, huh?
I don't think so.
I think
Probably.
that should be enough time. If the
Saturday,
rice
Sunday.
is going to help,
Oh yeah, maybe it's close. It's not a week, but it's getting close.
So you think we could try it, huh?
yeah, I think at this point, be able to try it. And then after that, it's really up to you whether you're going to search out some kind of repair for it or continue to keep it in rice.
Okay, I'll try. Should I plug it in because the battery might be dead?
Yeah, I think what happens with the iPhone is when you plug it in, it will check the battery and it will turn itself on.
Oh yeah, because we did try to make sure we turned it off after we talked to you.
Yeah. So if you just plugged it in, it should check the battery, and if the battery's got a charge on it, probably like 5% charge, then it'll turn itself on. Otherwise, it'll stay off until it's got about a 5% charge on. Then it'll turn itself on. But you should get, when you plug it in, you should get some kind of screen indicator. It either be a dead battery that's filling up, or it should be the gray apple showing that it's starting up. If it stays black, then there's something wrong.
Well, I know after I talked to you and I was shutting it off, I could see that it was showing a dead battery.
Shows, all right, it's just come up with dead battery. I can see the picture of the dead battery.
Okay, just let it sit and charge. It'll eventually turn itself on when it's got enough charge. You'll be able to see where you're at with the phone. The problem with Mom's phone is it's an 11, is that right?
Yeah, it's the first 11 Pro.
Yeah, I cannot remember if that's a waterproof phone.
Got it.
11 Pro. No, it is not waterproof. It's water resistant. It is IP68 rated. But up to 4 meters for 30 minutes is pretty impressive. That means that dropping it in the
wasn't
toilet
4
should be
meters and it wasn't in
no
that
issue. Shouldn't be swimming with it, but if you drop it in a puddle, you should be able to wipe it off and keep going on with your life.
So did you say even if it starts up, we're still going to have to see whether it needs some repairs?
Yeah, because if water got into it, then it could have done some damage. If you have the 10, I think that's your phone, right, Dad? I remember Mom getting a 10, and then she wanted the 11, and she moved you over to her phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 10 is, for future reference, it's not water resistant at all. So don't do what Mom did.
Okay. I won't bend over near the toilet.
That's right. Now on, stiff-legged. Yeah. I would suspect that your phone's going to be fine. Did it do anything odd when it got wet?
No, I didn't. Other than it kept trying to show the apple. It's come on, and I've gotten text messages now.
Great. I think at this point, what you're concerned about is heat and usability. Like your screen needs to, when you touch the screen, it needs to be able to pull up apps without a problem.
Doing it.
Your backlight needs to be on. It needs to be able to go from light to dark.
Are you saying you're seeing it that way?
Yeah, it's all doing
Everything you've said, Scott, it's happening.
Okay. I would suspect you're fine.
Yay!
Now, Bibiana and I both have iPhone 11s. I have the 11 Pro. She has the standard 11. She's in France. I'm very proud of my daughter. She's 16 years old. She's done some pretty sophisticated adulting recently. Her bank card has been blocked twice now. Had to call the bank from France and verify her purchases to make sure that they would turn her card back on. She had to do it. I tried to do it for her, and our bank's like, yes, you are on the account, but no, you can't verify the purchases. You have to get her to call and verify her purchase.
Oh, wow.
He had to get a hold of the bank from France and get her card turned back on twice. And the second time, she was almost in tears. As you can imagine, most of us are after being on hold and being put through all the hoops. And the second time they hung up on her.
Oh, my gosh.
And they hung up on her, I'm sure, because she was talking to me on WhatsApp while she was talking to them. She didn't have her social security number because the first time she had to do it, they never asked her for it. But the second time they asked her for it, and she didn't have it handy. That's when she got a hold of me. She thought it was going to be the same experience as the first experience. And all of a sudden, she's getting a hold of me going, I don't know my social security number. And the text messages for verification are going to your phone. And we've got less than a minute, and I'm enjoying this talk, so I'm going to look for you in the next meeting. I think Paul's already in there. I'm just waiting for you guys to get in there too. And out of convenience, I'll copy this link into our chat. In case you don't have it in front of you, you can click on what'll pop up on your screen. Unless you're on an iPad, because apparently that's... I'm ready to let people other me. Yes, and so I'm certain that they... Oh, Bill's in. Excellent.
Actually, it's Cheryl
I can't even hang up.
Cheryl?
on Bill's iPad.
Here, you want me to throw you out, Chester?
Yeah, please.
All right, bye-bye. We'll see if he shows up over here now.
Well, on the iPad, I didn't realize it, but down at the bottom of the screen, not the meeting, but the other one, the email is right there. So I clicked on it and I got to the email right away, and I came over and it asked me if I wanted to leave the other one. So I said yes, and it took me out of one and into the other one, just like that.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Making it much easier. Well, I was really impressed with the way BB handled it. I got to listen to her conversation. And unfortunately, I think in that second call that we had enough goofy conversation going on. We had enough goofy conversation going on that I think they considered it a security risk, and they hung up on her because she was waiting for text messages from me, and I was in the background giving her social security number. I think they decided it was too risky and just hung up on her. So I told her, take a breath, wait, try again tomorrow, give them some time. You calm down. We'll try it again. And she tries it again, and it all goes really smooth the next day. Hey, Pop, I was just finishing my story about BB. What I was saying is I got to listen to her conversation on her end, because she had me on WhatsApp and she had the bank on the regular cell phone. And so I was able to listen to what she was doing, but it seemed like a sketchy call. I think that's why they hung up on her, because BB's getting fed answers from me, and she didn't have her social security number. She couldn't answer the text message in enough time. And so she was just beside herself on this second call. She had expected it to go like the first call did, and it just fell apart on her until they hung up on her. I had to tell her, it's like, look, if she's crying, I'm like, honey, we all feel like crying in that phone call. I mean, asking for help from organizations like this is always the last thing you want to have to do. It's painful. And so what you're feeling is what adults feel all the time. The only difference between 16 and 50 is you don't cry as easy, but you sure feel like you're going to cry.
Well, that should have been reassuring for her.
I told her, just take a break, deal with it tomorrow or the next day. Just take a break from it. You don't need money right this moment, and you'll get it sorted out, and you'll get your French number associated with your account so they can send those, and you'll satisfy the security because you've got the social security number right there now. You've got all your questions. Call me right before that call, and it will go really smooth the next time. We'll be ready for that call. And so she did that. On Monday she called me, had me in the background, and she just bam, bam, bam. Everybody was in line. She had every answer she needed. They were very helpful with her. And it turns out she got a little indignant. It turns out that the first call is the only call that has blocked her, is where her card was blocked. The second call was because they didn't finish the first call correctly on their part, not hers. They said, okay, everything's ready to go. You can use your card. They hung up. And then the next time she tried to do a purchase, she couldn't do a purchase. And what they told her in the third call is that in the first call, they didn't check the most important thing for unblocking her card. Like, they went through all the motions, the security, they did all the things they were supposed to do, but they forgot to hit the button that makes the card work.
Oh boy.
And so she had to do 3 calls to get her card unblocked. But the third call was very successful.
Good.
And I was really proud of her for dealing with all that. I just can't imagine being in a foreign country at 16 years old, having to deal with a bank account that you just got like weeks before you left, with no banking experience and no idea of how to deal with customer support, and no real experience.
The one thing that you said about, you had to get the message off of your phone and all this kind of stuff. When we had our stuff stolen in Mexico, everything was being sent to our home phone number in Canada, and it was a voice machine, and so it wouldn't leave the passwords, or it wouldn't leave anything. So it took us a long time to finally get things activated and up, and you helped us through all that. But we have since changed it so that the home phone number in Canada is not the verification phone number on anything. So
Well, on the first phone call, he was able to get her Mexican phone number added to her account. But but she didn't even think about putting the French phone number on there. And so the second and third call, I'm like, no, you need to get them to put your French phone number on right now as your primary phone number. Don't let them delete the other phone numbers, but make sure that that number is the primary. Because if you have these problems, they'll send you a text message. And this is what this new company that has bought our bank is doing. Well, actually, I guess our bank bought the new company and kept their name. But what they do now is if there's a question about the transaction, they send you a text message saying, was this you? And you can say yes, and immediately your card's ready to go. But if you're not receiving those text messages, then you're making these phone calls. And so she was able to do all that. She was able to add her new French number to her bank account while leaving my U.S. number, and while leaving her Mexican phone number on there as well. So there's 3 phone numbers now. And I probably disclosed too much information online.
Well, that reminds me, Scott, that we never did get BB's number for the bank, or bank number, so we could put money in there.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll work with that offline. I mean, out of this meeting.
Yeah.
I'll make sure you get it. But that's not something I'll flash up on the screen.
Right. No, I wasn't expecting that. It just reminded me of the fact
Completely
that
dox my daughter online.
Yeah.
Well, folks, I've run out of stories. Have we got some recommendations for the end of this meeting? I did stick one in. If you guys looked at my my document, while I was in Alaska watching by myself, I came across this show called Sherwood from the BBC. Have you guys seen this? It's pretty good. It's a crime drama centered in a small village, and the events are have been dramatized for TV, but they spawn out of a time period where there was some mysterious crimes going on in this village town right outside Sherwood Forest. And so I think the first season, I think they're in their second season. Their first season was as close to those stories as possible. I think that the show was so popular that they decided to do a second season. But I don't think that's so much. It's built off of the first season, but it's not so much built off of actual first season.
Is that in BritBox?
I think it should be.
It seems like we've seen that.
It has no one specific in it I would mention, but I found it really entertaining. The interactions between the way law enforcement happens in England is so very interesting, where like they would send specific police from a higher unit, like from London, to go do investigations in a small village because they're not equipped to do investigations. And those interactions from like the city, the people that have come from the city and the people in the village. And what is the underpinning of both seasons is that this is a town where there was a brutal protest with the miners. It's an old mining town, and law enforcement that came to shut down the protests. So there's an animosity that spans across generations because of that point in history. And I think that point in history is true. That is part of the foundation of the stories of this area.
Well, we're going to take a look at that. That sounds pretty good.
I think somebody's weed whacking right outside my house. Well, that's the only recommendation I've got. The rest of my world has been stuck in this transition with this company that I'm working with. No free
Well,
time.
Bill and I finished our Big Bang. So we opened a bottle of wine for the last 4 episodes and watched them last night and thoroughly enjoyed it. And then our grandson says we need to watch Young Sheldon now. And so we'll see if we do that.
Young Sheldon is really good. I haven't gotten back to it, but I watched the first like 2 or 3 seasons of it, and it was really good.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. But we are back watching Tulsa King. We've seen 2 episodes so far in the second season. Tulsa King is the one with Stallone, and he's been in jail, but he's back out and he's doing his mob activity, but they send him off to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he's trying to provide protection and everything for these drug dealers, but they're actually legal marijuana stores. So it's kind of different.
Well, that's an interesting twist. Like
Yeah.
illegal protection for legal businesses.
Yeah, the people are really great characters in it. It's a lot of fun. So we watched the first season, I think last year, and the second season is just coming out now. I think there's 4 episodes out.
I heard it was really good the first season. I caught a little bit of an interview with Stallone, and he was talking about how much harder it is to do TV than movies from his perspective. He's like, every day, it's like a working out every day.
Bill says that on the second episode, we finished watching the second episode last night, and he said the writers aren't as keen, aren't as good. Something happened between the first and the second. So we'll keep going and see how we do. But we thoroughly enjoyed the first season, and now we're trying the second. And I'm listening to a book. It's I guess it's in movie. It was a movie that was put out this year, maybe. Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm listening to it, and really quite the stories. I'm not sure if it's based on or if it's actually true. So.
I don't remember the controversies behind that story, but there was something with the movie and with the book. I just remember something about the story was.
Well, they put a group of, or I guess a tribe of natives in the 1920s, and how it involves oil rights and land rights, and so it's a lot of
that's right.
things.
It was some scheme by the white man to marry into this indigenous tribe that had legal rights to the oil fields, and they were this period in history where these indigenous Americans had great wealth in this small area.
Yeah,
and
they talk about the. I think this is true that they talk about like DNA and what percentage of native you are, and that has to do with things. And the natives say no, you are or you aren't, and it's those kind of controversies. But it kind of is. There's all of these sisters and a mother are all getting killed or are passing away under suspicious things, and there's a whole bunch of crooked policemen and all that. So I don't know how much of the story is true, but I know that some of the aspects of it are based on what's happening.
Something moon. Remember?
Oh yeah, the flower moon.
Yeah.
I hate to move from such highbrow content to silly stuff, but I am curious how Bill felt about the Acolyte. Did you watch the Star Wars Acolyte?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think he's yet. No.
Okay. Well, then we'll save that for another time. I don't
Yeah.
want to jade his opinion with my opinion. But
Okay.
you'll notice it's not one of my recommendations.
Okay.
Hard to imagine from a diehard Star Wars fan like me, but no, I am not putting it up as one of my recommendations. Well, let's see. Paul, can you talk? Well, then you don't get to give a recommendation. Yeah,
No voice,
exactly. What about you, Pop? Do you have a recommendation before we call this meeting to an end?
Well, we just watched Prince Albert. Is that
that the name of it?
it? I think it had just come out, and it appears to just have 2 episodes, but they are dynamite, telling about all of his problems with Epstein and the underage girls and so forth.
Is this a documentary or a dramatization?
It's
Did you say-
more like a dramatization.
Prince who? Prince.
Whoever the
Yeah.
Andrew, I guess, Prince Andrew.
Yeah, you said Albert, and I
I
was
said
gonna say,
Albert.
no, Prince
I
Albert's
was
the one
thinking
in
of
the camp.
tobacco, I guess. Yeah, Prince Andrew.
Is that the name of the show? Is Prince Andrew?
Andrew.
Do you remember what the actual title was, Sandy?
It's something Prince Andrew.
Yeah, Prince Andrew's in the title. I don't remember exactly what the title is. And the first episode, I was confused because there were actors in it. And the second episode, it's all live. It's we're seeing him and I think the other real people that were involved. So it was quite an eye opener when they talk about how he was stripped of all his royalty privileges and so forth.
Right.
So was it a series or is it like a mini series or?
Well, it was as
like
far
a
as
limited series.
we expected more, but we only found 2 episodes.
They're long.
They're long. Yeah, they're each about an hour and a half. And we decided that probably was a limited series then. But we're still kind of confused about it because, like I said, the first episode had actors, and the second episode, it was showing him actually in the interview that cost him his royalty privileges.
Which?
Okay, there are.
Here I am. I'm back on Albert
instead of a very royal scandal.
Sorry.
Does that sound right?
Say it again.
A very royal scandal.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Secrets of Prince Andrew, I found.
Yeah, it's 2024, a very royal scandal. And it sounds like what you're describing is a dramatization of events in the first episode, and then the second episode is like a documentary of what those events. Am I understanding correctly?
That's a good description of what it was. Yeah.
That sounds
a very real drama.
That sounds fascinating. I think I want to watch that.
Yeah, we definitely found it fascinating.
What was amazing is he never understood how he hurt himself in the interview.
He was so.
He never got it.
I think, it appeared to us as if he was so used to just having people accept whatever he said without questioning it, that he was fairly comfortable saying things that he shouldn't have been saying. And all of a sudden, he didn't even realize what had happened during the interview. It took him quite a while to realize how much trouble he was in.
It says that it's a 3-part Amazon film, A Very Royal Scandal.
Maybe you're waiting for one more episode.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's we were disappointed we didn't have more, so it's good to know there might be another episode to it.
fact, I just put a link to it on Tracks, and it has episode 3 came out on September 19th. So
September 19th. Okay, so it's just come out then.
yeah, actually,
We were probably,
it looks like all of them were dumped at the same time. All of them came out on the 19th, and it is the third one is the final one.
okay.
Ask where. Is it BritBox or?
Well, I think we were watching it in Hulu.
Well, it says it's in Amazon, so I'm going to look for it on Amazon Prime. But
Okay. Yeah, well, we could get it there too. I don't remember where we were watching it, but
well, Prime must have more levels because I went to watch Tulsa King on Amazon Prime, and it said I needed Prime Plus or something different. So we're watching it on Stremio.
Great. I'm adding this to my list.
so I haven't told your mother this, but I just found Bad Monkey. We'd watched the first episode and we were having trouble finding anything else, but we were really looking forward to watching the whole thing.
It's
So
great.
now we can. Yeah.
You know, to me, I watch that show and it's like the perfect delivery system for Vince Vaughn.
Absolutely.
It's everything I
Absolutely.
like about his acting style and his comedy. Whereas you've seen all these movies where they have put him in the wrong role. And he's
Yeah.
like, meh. It's like he didn't really need to be there, or he didn't add anything. He distracted from it. But this is like his own device. All the comedy that I enjoy from that dry, sarcastic wit. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we agree.
Yeah, Bad Monkey. I think I recommended that a couple of meetings ago. Well, guys, I think we're reaching the end of this meeting. If anyone asks, somebody needs to tell me they want to meet in person in San Carlos. Otherwise, I'm going to just plan another virtual meeting.
Well, okay, Bill said that he wasn't going to log on if you were going to be in Tequilas because that was upsetting.
Oh,
But so don't use the word want.
very good. Yes, I'm going to have to hear some feedback from people, and not you folks, because nobody in this meeting is in San Carlos, right?
No, I don't, I'm trying to think. I know Mike Miller, he doesn't arrive till October 30th. And who else goes? Judy, I don't know where Judy is.
Yeah, Judy's, but wherever she is, she wasn't able to join us today.
Yeah, I don't know if she's down in San Carlos or not. Hey, Chester didn't come to this one, hey? Didn't
No,
come to
I
that
think
one?
but many times he doesn't make it past the first meeting too.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got some paperwork to go and take care of. It's almost the end of the month.
Oh my goodness. Who would have known? All right, you
So
guys.
Scott, you're going to get communicate with us in terms of BB's information.
Yeah, I can send that to you. I'll send it
Okay.
to you on WhatsApp.
All right.
Okay.
All right, folks. Nice to visit with you.
See you
You
guys.
later.
Check on.
Bye.
Till next Tuesday. All right. Well, there we are. We did it again. That was the San Carlos Computer Club. A little light this last meeting. Fewer guests. Fewer topics. A lot of informal conversations. But still fun. And you're welcome to join us. If anyone out there is watching this and wants to be part of our meeting, just go to sccclub.org and you'll find details there. If you want to be informed, if you want to get an email beforehand, letting you know, giving you access to the document that we create, our notes, you can add your own topics. Just get a hold of me, Scott at sccclub.org. And if you are looking for computer help out there, if you are looking for solutions, you can get a hold of me through International Computer Solutions. Scott at Internet. I do remote administration. I could help you find your own solution. Give us a chance. I guess that's it. Until next Tuesday, we'll have another meeting. Right now, it's a tentative virtual meeting. I don't think we're going to try and do an in-person. Truth is, it's pretty hot around here. All my equipment open. So if there's a demand for it, I'll do it. Otherwise, I think figure out why this OBS. What is wrong with you? All right. Till next Tuesday, everyone. Tech on.